slate grey design on a sport line. Let's have a look and see if it's worth it. Hi guys, welcome to another video from us here at We Buy Any Motor Caravan, and today we've got something quite special. So we've got the Chausson S697 Sportline edition in the lovely slate grey with the green accents. Now, looking at this from the front, it is a head turner. You've got the blacked out Ford grille, which is an additional extra, but does come alongside a lot of them now from new. You've also got the sleek decals over the cab. But let's start with the basics. So this one is on the 2-litre Ford automatic, which does come as standard on this edition. You can get a couple in manual, but they are a special delivery on this one. Now, when this was from new, it was £74,500, whereas there are discounts now which take it to £67,000. So maybe you're grabbing a bargain, I don't know. But let me show you around this side. So immediate thing that stands out straight away is all of the Sportline decals. As you can see, it's the nice sort of black and luminescent green all the way around, which follows suit with the rest of the van. So this one is the trail edition as well. So along with it, you do get the nicer side skirts with it. I think if you purchase them brand new right now, you get that alongside it. But originally it was another £1,500 because it came with the big alloys here. Obviously in the black, which makes it look a lot better. Now, looking above me, you've got the big Thule awning, which is, I think it's 4.5 meters just up here, which again, an additional extra, but depending on who you speak to, you might get it thrown in. So I think the best thing about this for me is the fact that the black accents continue all the way around the vehicle. They've not just thrown a random white vent in there just to throw off the proportions of the van. It gives it quite a nice line all the way across it, which is something that Chausson are quite good at anyway. But I think especially in this one, it looks great. Now, it does have quite a big garage on this one, which goes all the way through. So if you had anything like bikes or anything like that, that you would need to store, it would be perfect for that. And it's perfect for anything that you would need to store at any point. Now, probably the weakest part of the van, I would say, is the rear. It's very plain. There isn't a lot there. I would prefer something like a bike rack here. Obviously, it's got the ability to be able to do that. It's just said person hasn't decided to do it on this one. But it does come with the reversing camera from standard. Now, if you want to follow me around to this side, you've obviously got the other side of the garage. You've got your Truma point just there for the heating. And then you've got all of your standard cupboards underneath here just for storage whilst you're in transit. But there isn't really a lot to look at. I think the shame is you don't have anything in this section here. So it looks quite plain to me. You'd have to let me know what you think, but I think it's just a little bit of wasted space. But I think we should go and have a look at the inside. Right, here we are in the kitchen. Now, I say this in every single video that I do, but a lot of motorhomes don't have the biggest amount of space to be able to prepare things. I know if it was something that I was using, I'd want a little bit more than what is here. I mean, you look to the side, you do have a little bit of an extension there to be able to add on a little bit of space, but to me it's not a lot. You do have your 2-burner hob here, which, to be fair, it's a nice setup. There's quite a lot of room next to them, so you're not having to worry about doing one thing at a time. And it does have the quite nice S-line across here, so perfect. The only thing that is weird about this one is if you look over here, your oven is there and your grill. So I'm not quite sure why said person has decided to have it over there, because the normal fitment would put it here. So I think if you were going to be cooking, probably the best place to be. I mean, I wouldn't exactly want to be cooking something and then sat underneath it personally, but everybody has a preference, I suppose. Now, if we have a look into the back here, so with the layout of this one, obviously being the fixed singles, you do get the nice infill cushion here. So you are able to fold up this that's just behind me up to make it a full kind of king size double, maybe a little bit more than that. So it gives you a lot more space for anything that you needed whilst you're back here. You do also have a curtain, which comes across here. So with this one being the 4-belted version, the added privacy is probably the best thing for it, because although you're not going to be sleeping 4 in here, it gives you some privacy if somebody is asleep whilst you're on the journey. Now, You do have the light units under here, which have the USB sockets in it. So obviously you can charge your phone under there, anything that was needed. So it's a nice little touch just in the bedroom area. But if you follow me to the front, I will show you the best parts of that. Here we are in the front of the vehicle. So isn't a lot to talk about in this one because it's a little bit of a cramped space. I mean, it is the 4-belted version, so is it big enough really for what's necessary? I would probably say not. If you're having a lot of people travel with you, there isn't the massive amount of space for big amounts of storage or anything like that, but it is furnished quite nicely. I think the type of wood that's been used for it is a good colour. It really kind of complements the black and the grey, which is everywhere else. So I think it is a positive from that way. But let me show you the bathroom. So into the bathroom area just here. So is quite small. You do kind of get the necessary space, and it is one that folds over so that you've got your full shower. So it is at least a good use of space, but probably could do with being a little bit bigger, I would say. It's got the quite standard Sureflow taps in there as well, along with your vinyl cupboard, so at least you've got an accent of all of that kind of stuff. But let me know what you think about it. I think it's a little bit small, but that's only my opinion. So let's have a look at the cab. So here we are in the front of the vehicle. Now, as far as Ford-based vehicles go, they're pretty much all the same, but I think the one thing that this adds quite nicely is the Pioneer setup. So this doesn't come as standard on the Sportline range. So this is something that somebody has had retrofitted, probably around the 1,000 to 2,000 mark, because it controls everything within the vehicle. So it is a nice extra. And I do think one of the things that's best about this is it's the new style of Remis blinds. So instead of the old ones where they're gathered in the side and it can kind of take away from the vision, it's right down at the bottom. So it doesn't feel like you lose any visibility whilst you're driving. Maybe that's a personal preference of mine, but I think that this is very good at what it does in terms of keeping space in the front of the vehicle, because it isn't the biggest amount of space that you could get. Obviously I mentioned it's on the automatic gearbox, so it will drive very nicely. And you've got your all digital dashboard, which you would get on any new Ford vehicle, but I think it's not too bad. So we've had a look around the vehicle, had a look at the outside, a lot of pros and cons to it. I think it's a really nice design. I think the materials used all look expensive and feel expensive. I think they've paid quite close attention to trying to space save where they can. I think the only cons are the fact of it is a 4-belted motorhome. Would you ever really want 4 people in this motorhome? I personally wouldn't, because of the worries to do with payload and that kind of thing. And I also think at the price bracket that this sits at currently, obviously this would have been about £74,000 from new, but currently sit at about 67, 68. Could you get something better with a better payload, with a better space for 4 people in there? I don't know. It's something that you guys will have to tell me. But what I would say is like and subscribe. Make sure that you hit the bell button just to make sure that you don't miss any uploads. And it's been great showing you around.